like Chanel. See on both sides like Chanel. Swimming laps through water. Eating like I'm underworld. Had my tattoos in Shibuya. Police think I'm out the underworld. 12 treat a nigga like he 12. How you looking up to me and talking?
Okay, so this was not planned. I kind of just want to go on here and kind of talk about what I've been going through just with me. Not even with this whole quarantine thing, but just with me personally. I've been dealing with the fact that the school that I was trying to go to has turned me down. But not in the sense that they don't want to accept me at all, period. It's just they want me to get a higher ACT score. And you know, it's crazy because I was hearing a lot of people going through the same situation. And not that I thought that I was above that or I was better than that, but it's just, I was always hearing that it had to do with math or reading. That was always the main thing that, you know, these colleges were looking for. They were saying that you need a higher reading score, you need a higher math score. I had never had a problem with that, and I still don't have a problem with that. But the school that I want to go to is currently asking me for me to get a higher science score. And so this whole thing kind of put me in just like a depressive state, mainly because of the fact that I was just so upset that it was like right in my grasp, but I couldn't reach it. And I was upset because it was like things didn't go the way that they were supposed to go. I was supposed to be, around this time, I was supposed to have already taken the ACT again and, you know, got my acceptance letter into the university I want to get into. And that didn't happen. It didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen. Mainly because, you know, life is not linear. It's not linear, you know. We can have this plan in our heads that we're gonna do something. We're gonna take necessary steps to get to a certain goal or to a certain point. But at the end of the day, sometimes things happen and we can't control that. All we can do is control how we act. So I was really having a difficult time because I was like, okay, well, if I'm not getting into this university I want to go to, should I, instead of trying to go to a traditional university, I'm like, should I go to a art university? And so I was struggling with that for like the past week because I just didn't know what it is I wanted to do. I was like, okay, maybe this is happening for a reason. Maybe this is you know, what needs to happen. Maybe I'm supposed to be going to a artistic university. And you know, I did all the necessary steps. You know, I went and I got 2 monologues and I printed them out and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to audition with, and I'm going to, you know, record this video then, learn this by then. So I'm already like making the necessary steps to do that. And then I get a phone call from my best friend, and we're talking on the phone, and so they were talking to me basically about how their whole plans have changed. And I thought it was just kind of funny the timing of it, because at the time I was really looking for some sort of guidance or just some sort of sign to let me know I'm on the right path or I'm doing the right thing. And I didn't have that. I couldn't, for some reason, my ideal purpose of going to the college I wanted to go to just got lost. After I found out, you know, I needed to do this, I was like, my whole thing just got lost. Like my whole mindset was just different. And so I couldn't understand what was it about this university that I wanted in the first place. And so I remembered basically, well, they reminded me that I wanted to go to a traditional university, HBCU, because I wanted that experience, not only of being around people that are like me or people that look like me, but I also wanted the experience of going to a university where there were multiple opportunities and different things that were going on. My main thing with going to an art university was that I didn't want to I didn't want to go to an art university and get a degree in acting, because I felt like even though there are many people who are successful doing that, I just wanted to be able to have a degree in something else. I've always been that person where I wanted to have balance. I always wanted to, to do it all. I was the person who was in arts and stuff like that, but I was also the person who was trying to, maintain grades and care about learning and just growing mentally. So I think that for me personally, I really wanted to have that experience of going to a regular university. And so I feel like that's the reason why I chose the college I wanted to go to. I wanted to really just be able to have an ample amount of opportunities. Yes, there are opportunities that are at art universities, theater universities, but the problem with that is that you get sort of one kind of experience, in the sense that that is what the school is. And so my whole mindset, kind of like if some of you don't know, 9th and 10th grade I went to a charter school, and I decided I did not want to go to that charter school anymore. I decided it wasn't for me, and I wasn't living or doing my purpose the way that I should have been. So I asked my mom and my dad. I was like, I need to go to another school. And it just so happened that we ended up moving to a new area, and I ended up going to the school that I will be graduating from now. But before I actually decided to go to the school that I'm graduating from now, I thought about multiple options. I thought about, what if I go to New World, or what if I do this, or what if I do that? And then I realized that I didn't want that experience of going to a school that was just solely focused on the arts. Not that I don't love the arts, but I think that the problem is that there aren't other things that are going on. Everything is about the arts. And so, for example, going to a regular high school, you have the option of saying, okay, I want to join the football team, but I also want to join the band, or I also want to join the art club. You have different avenues and different things that you can do when you go to a regular high school. And so I feel like the last 2 years of my high school career have really been influential, in the sense that it's been enlightening to see all the opportunities presented in front of me, because I wasn't really getting that from the school that I was at in 10th grade. So I felt like it was just very interesting to, it was very interesting to see how vast it was very interesting for me to see all the interesting ways or things that I could do in high school. I was very intrigued. And so I thought about it. I thought about whether I wanted to go to, art university. I thought about it, but at the time when I made the decision, I was a junior, end of the junior year, and I was thinking about it, and I decided that I was definitely going to go to a 4-year college that was not centered around the arts. And I lost sight of that recently. I don't know why. I didn't remember what the purpose was of me doing that and why I was doing that. And so for me, I just think that, part of growing up and part of being the age that I am is just accepting the decisions that I make and sticking by them. Because, it's crazy how my whole mindset has shifted in a matter of hours, but I really realized that I don't want to go to a art university. In theory, it'd be great, you do what you love, but I thought about it and I was like, that's not the experience that I was looking for. I wanted to be able to do more than one thing. So I just kind of wanted to I just kind of wanted to talk about that and just talk about, sticking to the decisions that you make, sticking to what it is that you say that you want to do. And a big thing for me is that I feel like sometimes people in my life, family members, can kind of just make me feel like I'm running out of time. And they tell me stories like, I was 18 at this time, or I was your age this at not too long ago. And it's just like, while I understand the concern, it's just like I have to allow myself to process things and allow myself to go through the process, because I feel like a lot of times they just want me to get things done and be finished with it, and they want things to just happen in chronological order, but things don't happen like that in life. You can't just go ahead and say, I'm gonna do this right now, I want this to happen, and it happens right away. It doesn't happen like that all the time. And so I feel like they didn't really make me feel better about the situation. It was kind of just like why did this happen to you? What did you do wrong? And it wasn't that moment of like taking it back and saying, hey, like, are you okay? Or do you want to talk about it? It wasn't really like that. So I think that for me personally, I have to make sure that I do a self-assessment and make sure that I'm okay and that I'm making the right decision. And I think that's probably the reason why I do a lot of overthinking when it comes to anything. So, like, based on how I'm feeling right now, in my heart right now, I feel like I am going to work towards the score that I need to get, because I want this experience so bad, and I'm going to get it regardless. I'm not that I'm not allowed to fail, but I'm not allowed to fail without trying. So I'm not going to just say I give up, or I give up on this because it's too hard. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep on pushing, and if it's not meant to be for it to happen to me, and I tried my hardest and it doesn't happen, I tried. But I don't want to just say, well, I don't want to try at all because of the fact that this thing is stopping me. There are a lot of things that have stopped me in my life, and I still managed to push past them. So I refuse to allow something as simple as getting a higher test score to stop me from pursuing what I want to do and doing what I plan to do all this time. I know this is a little heavy, guys. I wasn't trying to make this such a serious video, but I really just wanted to talk about that, because I feel like it's not talked about enough. It's not talked about. A lot of creatives, they don't. A lot of creatives are people who just think differently. Some of them try to put themselves in boxes, and I refuse to put myself in a box. I know that like there are a lot of things that I like to do. There are a lot of things that I'm passionate about, but I feel like me going to a specific college for one thing is it's like putting myself in a box.